Hey there, I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub, and my business partner, Manny Romero, and I, we fix and flip houses in Phoenix, Arizona, and Milwaukee, Wisconsin. And in this video today, I want to explain to you how to buy a house at a foreclosure auction or a sheriff's sale or a trustee's sale. Okay, not a public auction like a bank-owned auction. This is a trustee sale or sheriff's sale foreclosure auction. Okay, so anyway, it's important for you to understand, first of all, that there are 3 steps in the foreclosure process, and this varies a little from state to state as far as the timing of it is concerned, but there's 3 steps, as you can see on this slide here, to the foreclosure process. There's step 1, which is what we call the pre-foreclosure process, and this is that period of time when the homeowner is in default and they actually own the property. They're in foreclosure and they're given a window of time either by the court or by the state statute to either bring their loan current or pay their loan off. That's the pre-foreclosure phase. Now, if the homeowner doesn't bring their loan current or pay their loan off in that window of time they're given, either by the court or the trustee in the state, the house goes to auction. And at that auction, you can actually bid on the property. The house is sold to the highest bidder. And these auctions take place at a variety of locations. It just depends, again, on what state and what county you live in. So that's what we're going to talk about here today. I'm going to kind of walk you through the process. So as I mentioned, these auctions typically take place at the courthouse steps or an attorney's office. And this is a photo here of an actual auction in Phoenix, Arizona, in Maricopa County, Phoenix, Arizona. And in this photograph, you can see there's a lot of people, right? The people surrounding the table, those are third-party bidders. They're actually like professional bidders bidding on the property. The auctioneer, he's a little tough to see. He's in that blue hoodie sweatshirt there. And you notice he doesn't have a gavel, right? These aren't like normal auctions where there's a gavel and a fast-talking auctioneer. These things are move relatively slowly and methodically, and they don't yell out numbers really quickly. They usually announce some type of a foreclosure number. They don't say the address of the house, and then they just start the bidding, and it kind of slowly increases incrementally, all right? And as I mentioned, there's multiple professional bidders at these auctions. So they may be bidding on behalf of multiple buyers, not just one particular person who wants to buy. They could represent 5 or 6 buyers for these properties. And these auctions could be held daily, they could be held weekly or monthly. Here in Phoenix, where I live, these auctions are held daily. In Wisconsin, where we fix and flip, they're held weekly. And I know, like in Texas, I have a brother-in-law lives in Texas, they're held monthly. So again, you'll have to check with your state and your county to figure out where these are held and how often they're held. But I would highly recommend you go check these out. They're very educational. And even if you don't intend on bidding on a house at an auction, you can meet a lot of different people in the real estate investment space that could help you find distressed property. So it's always a good idea to check out these auctions, whether you plan on bidding them or not. The other key thing here you need to know if you do plan on bidding on a property at an auction is most of them get postponed or canceled. Why is that? Well, because the homeowners normally are given a pretty lengthy period of time to either bring their loan current or pay their loan off, and that's usually what they do. Now, a sale or an auction may get postponed because the homeowner picks up the phone and says, "Hey, Mr. or Mrs. Lender, I want to work something out with you, come up with a kind of a repayment plan." And the lender will go, "Okay, fine. If you pay a little extra every month over the next year, we'll postpone your sale until you're brought current again, and then we'll cancel it." So a lot of them get postponed, and of course, they eventually get canceled because the homeowner actually brings the loan completely current, or maybe they just put up the house for sale and sell it and pay the loan off, then the house gets canceled. And that's probably what happens 95 to 99% of the time. Very few homes actually get sold at the auction. But if you do go there and you do happen to bid on one that goes to auction, you typically need a cash deposit of some kind in the form of a cashier's check or a money order. Here in Phoenix, it's $10,000. Again, that varies from state to state and county to county, so you'll have to find out that information. And normally, if you win the bid, okay, you're going to have all the money to pay the auctioneer the following day or within 24 to 48 hours. Here's another really important thing people who want to buy at auction and never have, they don't understand. You can't see the house before you buy it, okay? Up until the moment that house sells at the auction, the homeowner owns it. And there's a very slim chance that if you show up at that house the day before the auction or the morning of the auction, that homeowner is going to invite you into the house and give you a tour. You show up at the door and go, hey, I'm thinking about buying your house at the auction today. Can you mind showing me around? I want to see what I'm getting here. They're not going to do that, right? They're not going to let you in. Chances are they're pretty pissed off at the lender and at the world because they're about to lose their house at the auction. The last thing they're going to do is let you in to see it. Now, you could drive by the outside of the house, which is something that we highly recommend because you never know what could happen to a house in the time leading up to the sale, right? The house could burn down or something like this could happen. This is an actual photo of a house we were going to bid on here in Phoenix. And when we drove by it, or we actually had our driver go by it, he took a photo of the front of the house. As you can see, it says, I gutted home, cement and toilet, aka trashed. Now, I don't know if the person sitting there in the chair on the phone really gutted the house or is the owner. My theory is this person actually wants to bid on this house, and he's got his buddy who he's on the phone with down at the auction, and he's trying to scare people like me away from buying it so he can get it, even though he knows that house is probably just fine on the inside, right? Who knows? There's all kinds of games that get played buying these houses at auction. You also, because you can't see the inside, you don't know if somebody trashed it, right? Like this guy's talking about. This is an actual house here in Maricopa County that we got sent pictures of after the auction took place. And this homeowner took all their anger and aggravation out on this property. They stuck a knife in the kitchen cabinet door. They dumped paint on the kitchen countertops. They vandalized the house and tore the doors in half. They threw paint on the floor and on the bathroom vanities. They completely destroyed this house. Now, if you were the one who bid on this house at the auction and you ended up getting it, guess what? And you were assuming that everything was okay on the inside. Now you've got a big fat extra repair cost you're going to have to make either cleaning this paint up or just replacing the cabinets and the flooring altogether, right? And that may not be a cost you were planning on having to make. So the other big scary thing about buying houses at auction and the reason you need to be really careful is you may not be bidding on a first mortgage. So here's how it works. The first mortgage holder, the homeowner gets behind on their first mortgage, and the first mortgage holder starts the foreclosure process, right? So you go down to the auction, you think that the lien position or the mortgage you're bidding on or the lender that's foreclosing is in first lien position. Well, maybe they're not, right? It could be the second or the third lien holder that's foreclosing on the house. We had a person that we know here in town that thought they won a killer deal on a house. The house was worth about $150,000, and they bid $28,000 at the auction, and they won it. Come to find out, that was the second lien holder that was foreclosing. There was a first mortgage of $120,000 on the house. So guess what? They had to pay off the $28,000. They had to pay the $28,000 at the auction, plus they have to pay off the $120,000 that was owed to the first. So now they got $148,000 they're gonna have to spend on a house that's only worth $150,000. So they're basically underwater. So you don't want that to happen to you. So the best way to prevent that from happening is to go to a title company and have them get a preliminary title report done on the property you want to bid on, so you make sure there's no liens or judgments and that the lien you're bidding on is in first lien position. And if you buy it at the auction and you're bidding on a first lien position mortgage, all the others get wiped out and you're free and you're in the clear. All right? So that's how you buy a house at a foreclosure auction. Again, this process varies from state to state, county to county, so you want to look into how it works specifically in your area, in your city, your state. But that's really step 2 of the foreclosure process. I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub. If you're looking for some additional training, like maybe you want to know how to fix and flip a house without using your own cash or credit, that would be good to know, right? Then click on the link in the description of this video and you can check out that free web class we've got running right now. Again, I'm Marty Boardman with Fix and Flip Hub. Thanks for watching.